Neptunia Game Maker Revolution is Compile Heart's latest addition to the Neptunia series, which is starting to be quite a handful, as you can count about 15 to 20 Neptunia games if you include the many spin-offs and main entries. It's definitely their most successful series, although I wouldn't say it's the best. Of course, some games are better than others, and while Game Maker isn't the best, it's not the worst either, and it's actually pretty enjoyable, although it apparently didn't sell too well. One reason this could be is, in my opinion, that the title is too long and confusing. The title makes it sound like it's a remaster of some sort, or that it's a spin-off game involving game making or management, but it's not. It's a brand new game in the series, and it's definitely a main entry and not a spin-off. While it does include a little bit of sim management, it's only a small portion of the gameplay, and it's mostly optional. Most of the game unfolds just as it usually does. If you've ever played a Neptunia game, well, it's just about the same as all of the other games in the series. Neptunia is the protagonist once again, but this time around there are 3 new main characters based on 3 failed gaming systems. The plot revolves around Neptunia helping out these new goddesses to be successful again, so this is where the management portion comes in. You'll be taking care of their kingdom by taking requests to develop game discs, a feature that is just the same as in all the other entries, so basically just selecting a few options and waiting. There's a few things to select on skill trees that help you unlock some new stuff, and you can change your main building as you unlock new branches on the skill tree, and you can also decorate it with some objects from the Atelier series, but that's pretty much it. Honestly, this could have been such a great and fun idea, but it's just so bare bone. I came in expecting something where I could actually build a city and customize it and take care of various things like the shop and weapon making, or really anything that actually involves managing a town or a game company, but there's really just nothing to do, and it gets boring pretty fast. The town management is simply a screen with your one building in the center and your 3 tiny decorations around, a few menus to select from, and that's it. It's not very fun, and it might as well not be there. The game would remain the same with or without it. Thankfully, that aspect is for the most part optional, and you don't have to care much for it, aside from a few story-related progression points, but although some of it can be confusing, it's only a small portion of the game. If you've played the latest Neptunia game, Sisters vs Sisters, you'll find Game Maker Revolution to be very similar. The world map is the same, for one, so you'll visit the very same areas again. The lack of novelty is starting to be a bit boring, but at least I counted a few new areas, including an open world desert, so that was interesting for a change, although the areas are quite barren and empty as usual. There's also a new motorcycle that you can now use to cross the levels, although it controls so poorly and the dungeons are so narrow that it's almost impossible to use it without running into enemies. So I gave up on using it altogether. There's also some racetracks where you can race on the motorcycle, but again the controls are poor and the racetrack's boring, so this minigame isn't very fun. At least it's completely optional. It's a good idea going forward into the series, but it needs a lot more work. Just like in the other games, you'll be going from dungeon to dungeon, watching cutscenes in between, and battling enemies. A few puzzles were added to the levels, but mostly you'll just be walking around, picking up treasure boxes. The battle system is probably the most fun part of the game, keeping the same action-oriented and fast-paced combat from Sisters vs Sisters. Each character has a different playstyle, and you can make combos to increase your attacks and also transform into the goddesses to become super powerful. There are many characters to choose from the old series, and the new characters are fun to play as well. Overall, the combat was super fun, but the game felt unbalanced as the difficulty would keep going from extremely easy to hardcore, as some bosses would suddenly be 20 levels above you for no reason. I had to grind for a few battles, which was annoying, but mostly I still enjoyed the battle system. All in all, Neptunia Game Maker is a mixed bag. I found it more fun than Sisters vs Sisters, as the new characters were quite charming and engaging, and there were more new areas to explore compared to other entries, but it also felt rehearsed, like I've already played that same game 10 times before. The game making aspect of the title also doesn't really exist, and the simulation management is practically non-existent and a little bit boring. It feels like they had an idea in mind, but ultimately just didn't put any effort into it and just took Sisters vs Sisters, revamped it, and put a new title over it. I did really enjoy the battle system though, and the story and characters are fun and quirky as usual. And although I do like the Neptunia games, it's really about time they upgrade this series, as it feels like it's still stuck in the PS3 era. If you enjoy the Neptunia games, it's a fun entry, but be prepared to play something that feels like Deja Vu.